Welcome back to another episode of ROMP, everybody. So, that burnout video from last week, it kinda ran a lot longer than I anticipated. I didn't think I'd have so much to say about that bot. So, I'm feeling like doing a bit of a shorter video this week. And to assist with that, I have picked a character who's a real frickin' nobody. A bot whose only real media presence was that one time in the comics that he got fucking murdered by the Decepticon Justice Division. Oh, and then after that his friends scavenged his corpse for parts. I'm talking about the less than deadly duocon, Skytread. Back in the 80s, two bots were designed and given the title of duocon, which meant that they were a bot who had a single robot mode that split into two vehicle modes. One was Skytread, named Flywheels at the time, and the other was Battletrap. They were cute little spring-loaded gimmick bots. I don't have a G1 Flywheels, but I do actually have a G1 Battletrap that I can use to show you how the gimmick worked. You just smush the two vehicles together and blammo! An abomination! It's worth noting that while there were only two bots ever given the title of duocon, there are plenty of bots who are a single robot that splits and becomes multiple independent vehicles. In fact, Overlord, despite never being given the title of duocon, does the exact same thing as Skytread. The lower half of him becomes a tank, and the upper half becomes a jet. Transformer subcategories are weird and confusing sometimes. Skytread is a bit of a unique bot though. I don't think by looking at him that you'd pick out his duocon roots, thanks to his incredibly cohesive color scheme and design. He's a dense looking dude, real sturdy grunt unit vibes. He's got impeccable Decepticon goon energy. That sturdiness is probably helped by his giant frickin' steppers. The unintentional theme of my last few videos seems to be robots with big, stupid feet. Now, moving forward, everything that I say about the legs can be used to describe the arms as well, because design-wise, they're pretty much identical. Skytread is from the 2019 War for Cybertron Siege line, which means he gets the benefit of all of that lovely, exceptionally excessive detail work on his sculpt. The limbs get a few hits of gold to pick out some of the raised panels, the legs are super solid and have some sweet tread detailing on the back. The arms lose out on a little bit of that solidity by having these open forearms, though that's where the fists fold into, so I'm not super bothered. The torso is the jet cockpit, of course, with most of the remainder of the jet hanging off of his back. Maybe not the most elegant solution, but the rest of the jet has a bunch of tiny panels that clip and move around to form an incredibly sculpted torso shape. Like this is a really good torso. Also, I really like the pinky kind of maroon color that the torso is made out of. His head sculpt also reinforces that Deceptigoon demeanor that he has going on. A crisp red visor over his silver face, and a stinky bucket helmet topping it off. He just looks like an asshole. Another benefit that Skytread gets from being a Siege-era bot is he is specifically designed to interact with the weaponizer bots that came out alongside him. That's thanks to the absolute bevy of 5mm ports that he has going on. 11 of them in total in robot mode can be utilized for some serious firepower, and that's not even including his own hands. God, I just love the weaponizer system. I really gotta hunt more of them down. But yeah, you can seriously pack on firepower to Skytread to just make him just totally unreasonable. You know, like, how are you gonna fit through the door now, hey? How are you gonna get back to HQ? Ever think about that, Shredhead? You dumbass? Articulation on this whole guy is stellar. The War for Cybertron trilogy really upped the ante by making things like ankle tilts standard on deluxes. Before, you'd be lucky to get ankle tilts on some leader class figures in previous lines. We got nice tight universal joints at the body connections, 90-degree knees, and even more than 90 at the elbows, and those feet even get some reverse movement thanks to the transformation joints. He's got a waist swivel, you can dingle around his back wings if you want, he's got a ball-jointed neck, just tons of dynamic movement packed into this guy. What's a little less dynamic, unfortunately, are his accessories. We get a gun, and a second, smaller gun. They can boosh together to make a single, long gun? That's fine. It's fine. It's a necessary evil, because these weapons, namely the medium gun, are essential to completing the alternate modes on this guy. Let's get that going right now, and I can show you what I mean. So Skytread's first transformation step is always a fun one, because you just fucking murder him. Right in half. I'll take a second to say that this connection here, it's super sturdy. It doesn't fight you to come undone, and it stays together super well when he's in robot mode. It's perfect. Let's toss his legs to the side for the time being and do the torso first. Honestly, most of this transformation is just exploding his torso out. The nose flips up and takes the head with it. Panels fold out, he really just starbursts from the center. After that, you have to super awkwardly mush the arms together, clip them into the bottom, and ask yourself, wait, am I done? That can't be right. But yep, you're done. Being a deluxe who has to make 2 vehicles and a fully articulated, proportional robot, there is going to be some compromises here, and Skytread's arms dingling off the bottom of the jet are easily the most egregious. The rest of the jet is pretty clean though. It's a big crimson, generically shaped fighter plane. Since it's made out of half of a deluxe, it's pretty small. A little bigger than like a core class jet, but quite small. Since most of the jet was just hanging off of Skytread's back, the fully transformed plane gives us a good opportunity to scope out all that sweet jet detailing that this thing has going on. It's got some little machine guns hanging off of the edges of the wings. The whole thing is covered in rivets and texture work. The jet mode also has a sneeze of gold paint to pick out some highlights like vents and wing edges, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The jet mode is a big lump of lovely plastic, and beyond looking really great, it doesn't really do anything interesting. You know, besides turning into the top half of a robot. The legs are a similar affair, but we gotta get them into tank mode before discussing them. Transformation here is very simple. When you straighten out the feet, some wheels deploy out of them. It's nice that they don't just hang out there in robot mode so he isn't slip-sliding all over the place. The thighs pop open and swallow up his hips, and that's it, really. Now we take that medium gun, pop it on the front, and we can finish off this mean mini tank mode. The tank mode is a little generically shaped, just like the jet, but it winds up cleaning up a lot better than the jet. The back of the tank might be a bit empty, but there's no huge piles of limbs hanging off this thing anywhere. The wheels that were deployed let him roll around really well. They are a bit wider than most of the little wheels that substitute in for tank treads on Transformers. It's a really odd shaped tank, but it's faithful to the original, and at the very least, it doesn't look like a folded up pair of legs. It's really cohesive for how little it actually does, and of course it's sporting that killer surface sculpting, much like the jet got. The only major issue is these top panels up here barely tab in. I wound up shaving a bit of plastic off on the inside to try and allow it more clearance, but I don't know, I don't really think it helped. That issue aside, it's a nifty little boom wagon with some attempted battle scarring on the side that kinda just looks like someone shot him with a super soaker full of mercury. Since they're two sides of the same coin, the vehicles look great together with their complementary colors. It's really neat having a single bot who can become a small strike force all on their own. We don't get the funny, bash-together, spring-loaded mechanism like before. Hell, I don't even think there's a way to just clip the jet on top of the tank. But I think it's safe to say that sacrificing the spring gimmick means we get a better, like, literal everything else. Better looking robot mode, cleaner vehicles, we got proper articulation. Generation Skytread is a wonderful modern take on a really weird G1 bot. It's kind of wacky that we got another figure of him at all. It's always cool seeing a modern update on a vintage bot who was so heavily compromised by a single gimmick, and seeing how they fare when you remove the defining feature of that character. Phrasing it like that could imply that this version feels a little soulless. And look, yeah, I do love a good gimmick, but if I wanted a funny spring bot, I'd hunt down the original. The Generations take of Skytread is going for something very different with the same character. And as a collector grade, articulated, and wonderfully sculpted bot, I think that Sky Guy here made the right choice, treading some new territory. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of ROMP, everybody. As always, more silly robot videos on the way next week. Take care, and we will see you then. Skytread is a bit of a unique bot, though. I don't think by looking at them that you'd pick... Can you guys hear that? Hear the garbage truck outside? That's cool. Bye, garbage man. Skytread is from the I want to say 2018 Siege line? Oh, shit. I don't know what year he's from. Okay, we're gonna Google this. We're gonna Google this mid-recording. TF Wiki, Skytread. 2019! Aha! I was wrong. Okay, glad we fixed it. That wasn't supposed to come off! Whoops! The arms lose out on a bit of that solidity by having these open. The garbage truck's back! God damn it. Hear him again? He's out there. Okay, guess I'm taking a 5-minute break.